about the tag team titles. I know you've always been, ever since I've known you, you've always been a tag team wrestling fan.
I have.
So I know it got to pain you to see. First of all, looking at the belts.
The,
you know, as you can
pennies,
see, we like the way
the
belts
pennies.
look.
The pennies. They are pennies. I'm sorry. I don't know. I say fire the person that came up with that design, because clearly I don't know what they were smoking that day. But that oh god, it's just copper. It's just anyway. Back to the tag team division. Finally, is being beefed up. I'm glad that it's getting back, because I'm a classic tag team person where if me and you are a tag team, we should wear the same ring gear, or at least the same colors. It shouldn't be, oh, you wore some jeans that say you just got, and I'm wearing shorts that says kaboom on them, and we don't wear a tag team.
Right.
No, that doesn't work for me.
Okay.
But in the same instance, if you're wearing pants and then I'm wearing shorts and they're the same color, it's fine. Look at wrestling's greatest tag team, or world's greatest tag team, whatever you want to call Charlie Haas and Sean Benjamin. They don't wear the same thing, but they wear stuff that's similar. And even so, in Ring of Honor, they look like a tag team. They mesh well as a tag team because they are a tag team. It's not like you're a singles competitor. You've held singles titles. You've had singles titles. Then guess what? I put you together. That naturally doesn't work unless they were a good singles competitor, i.e. AJ Styles and Christopher Daniels, i.e. Chris Benoit and Chris Jericho. You know, they worked great as a tag team. Stone Cold and Triple H. You know, they just worked as a tag team because they were great independent. Now I'm taking away from the current tag team champions, but that wasn't the right mix. Neil was Air Boom. Neil was Air Boom wasn't the right mix, because you had two people that's trying to fly around the ring and nobody was grounded. Nothing to keep them. It was too much to me, and I'm a fan of Matt Sydal, whatever you want to call him. His name is Matt Sydal to me, but Evan Bourne. But I'm a fan of him as an independent wrestler. He would be great with AJ Styles as a tag team partner.
But see, I like, I call them Truth in Paradise. I like them being a tag team.
They don't have any, and I'm not saying you gotta have tag team. You gotta have tag team charisma, tag team moves. If you think about it, look how great Matt and Jeff were just from doing that one stupid move where Matt laid down and Jeff ran up Matt's back.
Okay.
Look how great Edge and Christian was when they did the double concerts.
I got a question for you.
Look how good the Dudleys were because of the 3D.
You just named people who came up as tag teams. Out of all the teams that were kind of like put together, which one you say was your favorite, or you say was the best?
My favorite was definitely Hurricane and Kane. Okay. Just because of the double choke slam and the gimmick. Okay. It just worked. Then I would say, let me give you three. It was those two, AJ Styles and Christopher Daniels, just because it was the BME and the Frog Splash was their finisher. Awesome. It was outstanding. Even so, then teams that were put together, I would dare say, now do you want WWE only or?
Either.
Anyway, okay. Well, and then I would have to say a team like the Motor City Machine Guns, who were established by themselves, right? Even wrestled each other, were opponents numerous times. And look what they did. Tag Team Gold. Robert Roode and James Storm. Tag Team Gold because they meshed well together. Yeah. And they made tag team moves. Think about the Motor City Machine Guns. They had a ton of tag team moves. Granted, Kofi and I just feel like it's by default.
You know who I like together though? Jericho. And think about it. They had a charisma. When they came out together, they had a certain type of charisma. They had a way that made you care about them. Jericho brought up something. He's like, we had the most amount of titles between us two than anybody else, any other combination that's in the locker room. So they made you care about them. And I know I'm a huge Jericho fan, just like yourself. You being Jericho Hawk #1. I would dare say, obviously, Jericho and Chris Benoit, they had great tag team chemistry, but one could argue the fact they grew up together,
or because they were such great opponents. That's why they made great tag team. I.e., the Motor City Machine Guns. They had a story almost similar to Chris Jericho and Chris Benoit, because think about the beginning of TNA. The X Division was Chris Sabin, Alex Shelley, Austin Aries, Petey Williams, Amazing Red. You had people like that were running together and they were working together at first. Right. And if you know the person so well, when you put them together, they have no choice but to be good. That's Kofi true. And Truth in Paradise, or whatever you call them, Kofi and R-Truth, they've really never worked together before. It was just they were thrown together, and it's I feel like it's just a match. It's not like nothing I'm going to remember. I'm not going to remember. I'm not going to remember that title run more than I will Kofi Kingston and CM Punk. Nor will I Air Boom. Nor will I remember you know, Drew McIntyre and Cody Rhodes. I'm not going to remember these title runs. I'm sorry because
Drew McIntyre and Rhodes was tag team champions.
Exactly. See what I mean? See how you just said that at 50?
Forgettable period in wrestling.
But you remember a Hulk Hogan and an Edge title run because of the story behind it, and it captivated you, and it was like a dream come true. It was like, wow.
Almost, but not quite. That's kind of like Jericho and The Miz. Because you got, here's Jericho the veteran, and then you got Miz, the guy who's trying to be like
Jericho and Miz were tag team partners?
Yeah. You don't remember they was tag team partners?
Miz and Big Show.
Miz and Big Show was tag team partners.
But Jericho and Miz were never tag team
They
partners.
were.
They were.
They were.
We'll do some research.
It just seemed like they was a tag team.
They were not.
Now, I'll tell you two established stars that flopped, in my opinion. RKO.
Yes.
A lot of people liked them or rated RKO, but then I was like, okay, two of my favorite wrestlers, but I'd rather see them fighting each other or fight, you know.
That was just like as bad as Otunga and Cena. Well, Otunga and anybody, actually.
You don't like Otunga at all?
We're going to keep moving. So, let's move on. That's enough about the tag team division. Let's move on to the women's title.
What do you think?
It's sad, and I will go on record and say this. It's sad that the WWE have let so many great women wrestlers slip through their cracks, and they have either wound up other places or have not returned. Because it was at one point, you actually loved watching multiple Divas matches before they were Divas. You loved watching the women's matches. Like, you could have 2 matches in one night, and it would be okay. And something else, just as a side note for the championship, where are the #1 contender matches? There aren't anymore. Remember, at a pay-per-view, you didn't have to defend your title, but there was a #1 contenders match. And that's what is missing. You know, on SmackDown, they'll have like a tournament for a title, and then you get a title shot.
Yeah.
No, where's the #1 contenders match, or where's a tournament?
You have Battle Royals now.
Yeah, that's what it said. Like, oh, you won the Battle Royal, now go get your title. Like, that's what it seems like. So,
and when you have that many Battle Royals, it kind of takes away the fun of a Royal Rumble. Now, I'm not against Battle Royals completely, but not every month.
Right, and then it's like the winner gets something.
But like, as far as the Divas, though, I will say this. I've enjoyed watching Layla's matches, but until Karma comes back, we're going to be constantly looking to the dressing room, waiting, you know. Shouts out to Candice Kidd. You can find her on YouTube. She stated that the other day. She was like, everybody wants to see Karma. You hear the crowd chanting Karma at every match. It's like, if she's unable to come back, okay. But, you know, when is she coming back? She's tweeting, y'all want to see the Bellas get their butts kicked? Obviously, I mean, I know they tweet, that's their own Twitter accounts. WWE does push them to use Twitter, but I'm sure they didn't have a problem with, they probably said feed into it. You know, then Eve says, yeah, don't worry, it's not Karma. You know, then here comes Layla. It's like, yeah, it was happy to see Layla back.
But it took away from Layla.
Exactly.
It took away from the return of one of the Diva Search contestants. But the thing that I personally don't like about the women's division, you have a 90-pound woman beating up Natalya. I'm sorry, she's 90 pounds soaking wet. And you mean to tell me, in what life is she actually going? That's like having a 2-year-old beat me up.
Right.
I'm sorry, it's not working for me. She's not a real wrestler. It's not because of her size, because of what she did in NXT. And I did watch the All Divas match, and even so, look at the Divas the winner of NXT when they had the All Divas. What has she done? Has she even had a title shot? No, it hasn't developed her. And even so, you got Oksana on the hands of Claudio doing nothing, talking about this is my boyfriend. Wasted talent. You know, if that's the case, you might as well just kept the Bellas. Yeah. And then if you think so, Maxine, that's her name, right? Yeah. When you randomly see her come into the ring when they have a Diva Lumberjill match.
I will say she's getting a lot better in NXT. I like her.
Why do I have to wait to NXT?
I see what you're saying.
See what I'm saying? And then you have 2 great, not because they're African American, that's not, let me put that disclaimer, 2 great female wrestlers that's just scantily clad that if you seen them once, you've seen them twice. That's all they are.
Wait, you said 2?
Yeah.
Who?
That's what Brodus Clay.
You can't call Cameron Lynn, as good as she looks, you can't call her a great wrestler yet.
No, I'm saying she's a good talent that could be utilized. Okay. But think about it, they got to start somewhere.
Great talent, all right.
Well, I mean, I see potential, and I personally see.
Naomi's hot though. Yeah, she can wrestle.
But I just
Alicia
think
Fox.
I just
I'm a fan of hers.
I see potential in them, but you never know if all you're gonna see them is coming to the ring, talking about somebody called my mama and putting their butts against each other and coming into the ring and then hitting the
You got a problem with that?
I'm sick of seeing it. If you seen it once, you've seen it. All these dirty old men want to see it every week. I'm sorry. Once you see it, it's like watching the same porno over and over again. You see it once, you're like, what's the point? I mean, okay, yeah, they go from red to green one day to blue to silver. Okay. Still not excited. I was excited the first time. I was like, that's hot.
Would you rather see them interact more with Brodus? I mean, I understand you want to see them in the ring, but would you rather see them interact more also?
Let me clarify. I would like to see them not just be wasted. If they're going to be his managers or his dancing partners, think about Justin Gabriel, what Alicia Fox did at first, and then she branched into a wrestler.
Yeah.
You know, when is the point when you're going to see them actually do something in the ring besides knock Vicky Guerrero off of the apron?
But remember back in the day now, you had Miss Elizabeth, you had Sunny. You know, they never, and Sapphire. And well, Sherry wrestled, but she
was more of a...
She wrestled back in the day, then she stopped. But you think about these women, they didn't wrestle too much. You know, or more so, I'm going to say, because Sapphire did wrestle, I'm going to stay with Sunny and Miss Elizabeth. That's all they did. They were valets. It was your Sables and your Trish Stratus that start off as valets. And I think we've come to a custom where we got spoiled seeing that happen and then them change. Now, I understand what you're saying, because when you see a girl like Cameron Lynn and Naomi wrestle in FCW, you thinking, okay, when they come up to the main roster, that's what they're going to be. Especially when you're tough enough and you say. Now, isn't it ironic the person who gets eliminated from Tough Enough first performs at WrestleMania and makes a WrestleMania appearance for 2 years in a row, where the person who won Tough Enough, I know I kept saying that's
awkward.
Right. So,
but I'm saying it to say, and I guess I'm not trying to say it's nice to see the women out there, but then when you don't have any, I guess, any direction, it looks like, because for the life of me, I don't like the Brodus Clay character. I like that it's selling and it's everything, but on the same token, I hate when the WWE, and this is just what they do.
From a personal standpoint?
Yeah, from a personal standpoint. I hate when it's a big guy comes in, wrestles all these little guys, or have these microwave fights like I'm making popcorn, and that's it. But then when you put him in the ring against somebody like The Miz, and The Miz actually wants to work him, and then you still make The Miz look bad, because The Miz was his first competition. But remember, last year, around WrestleMania, I'm sorry, not last year. Was it last year? Yeah, it was last year. Him and Christian had some decent matches. And even if you take Christian out of the equation, when he was Alberto's, Alberto was his pro on NXT, he was actually decent. So why water him down for a gimmick? That's what I understand. He can still have this gimmick of this dominating force, but let him have a wrestling match like he had before. Even if that means that, okay, The Miz is giving up about, 150 pounds to Brodus, but it's okay because The Miz can still work. Let him wrestle Ryback. Let him wrestle, what's the guy that's with AW now in the Primo and Epico?
Mason Ryan.
Let them wrestle.
Right.
Let's have a match. Let Damian Sandow or Idol Stevens have a match with him and see what happens.
So you see Brodus wearing championship gold anytime soon?
I could see him having an Intercontinental title run. Do I see him as a world champion? My personal opinion, no. But if his gimmick keeps going the way that it does, why not?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'm not opposed to it. I'm just saying, why not?
Now, remember.
Ladies and gentlemen, the following presentation is brought to you by Mr. Main Event Brian Waters and the real Dwayne Alley. The Wrestling Realm, the show for the intelligent wrestling fan.